So I guess Shaq got the draws, huh? Welcome to Cliff Alerts. Today we're going to be talking about Lifetime Network's reality-based TV series, Married at First Sight, season number 16, episode number 12.
But before we get into it, please like, share, and subscribe. Click that notification button so you know when we upload new content. And please send your comments. They are important to us and we will respond once we get them from YouTube. But we appreciate and thank you for your support of this channel.
This episode began with Shaq and Kirsten meeting with, or potentially asking questions during their meeting with Dr. Pepper, as it relates
Yes.
to an update on how their relationship is coming along, if they're growing closer and closer to one another, and if not, what are the issues that are confronting them as a couple? What's stopping them from doing it?
Right. And they were doing a pre-discussion about what questions they should ask Dr. Pepper once
Hmm.
they get to her office.
Hmm.
And one of the things Kristen said is that she wanted Shaq to be in more of a leadership position. That does a lot for her.
I think Shaq is kind of confused about that
He
part of it
is.
because, from his vantage point, he is getting mixed signals
Right.
being sent from Kirsten as it relates to, should he go this way? Should he go a different direction?
So
Yeah,
once they get to Dr. Pepper's office, they brought her some cookies that Kristen baked, and they started off with the conversation that
yeah,
they're having.
yeah, and it's the in the form of an issue. Something that Pearson referenced as the biggest challenge is the communication component.
Right.
um, there needs to be, a meeting of the minds, if you will, about how they communicate and do it clearly so that, both are on the same page, both understand each other, both are very clear about what they need to do to move forward.
I question Kristen's intention regarding that question,
About the
the
big.
communication,
Okay.
because she's the one who knows that she has created walls and is comfortable with living behind them
And even
and not.
admitted so.
She knows that she is part of the problem.
A big part of the problem. I will say this. Shaq has some insecurities about, who he is as well, but based on some of the things that he had to go through as past, in the past,
Dr. Pepper advised them that they should not go with the do unto others as you
others
have
do
them,
unto
others do
do
unto
unto
you.
you.
They should go on a higher range, which
Hmm.
is be more vulnerable and be more committed to the person's good than anything
And
else.
also, Dr. Pepper kind of suggested that they make no, highlighted the word no, assumptions,
Right.
and that was pretty important from my end because I think that. From Kirsten's point of view, I think she makes some assumptions about what she expects and or of Shaq in the way of, responses and or behaviors that then are going to, I guess, elicit a level of comfort that she's able to move on to the next step. Her parents divorced, and she was back and forth between her mother and her father's household, and she never really kind of I guess, understood as a kid what that was about and kind of was hurt by it
Yeah.
and and didn't basically know how to handle it.
Well, yeah, I can understand that
Yeah,
because some of us
she wouldn't.
who grew up in families that their parents got divorced, they will understand her point of reference.
You and I.
Yes, that issue with the wall that she created to make this even more difficult arc for Shaq to overcome. Because as Dr. Pepper said, it's more than doing unto others what they do unto you. You got to go higher and make room to give him a springboard to get over that wall and not feel like he's just butting his head up against the wall. Because while Shaq may have issues as it relates to his self esteem as well, she has gone so far off the mark that she involved Nicole in a situation where she could have articulated her needs to him and not involve a third party.
Yeah, I get that. I think that there's some emotional components to her adulthood that she's got to work on, and that she's got to come to an understanding that impact in an adverse way an adult relationship that she's currently in.
Well, she did say when her parents got divorced, that was a place of shame for
Right,
her.
right.
And Shaq indicated because his mom worked so much to take care of the children that he felt a level of resentment because she was not around. And as a result, when he was 17, he found his father and was able to, through time, forgive him because one thing he asked his father, like, why did he give him up?
Yeah, and not
How, why did I have to go 17 years and not know who you are, what
and not have
happened?
a real relationship with him.
Right.
Yeah, and that was to me a powerful moment from his end,
Yeah.
but also it didn't go unnoticed by me that he also said that he forgave himself as well.
Yes. Because unfortunately, when you're a child, you're just getting limited information about the circumstances
Right,
of your parents'
right.
demise.
And while you may see some
And
things, you don't really fully
you don't
truly
fully put it
understand the whole
together.
picture.
And then someone could be giving you some toxic information. So it's good that he is able to forgive his father
Yeah.
and also to forgive
No question about it.
himself.
No question about it. Fantastic the thing for Shaq to be able to do. Very constructive and productive in an effort to move down the road.
So they're having some sort of meal at the kitchen table,
Right.
and this is when Kristen asks Shaq for help because she wants to create a logo for her job.
Yeah, apparently that was something that she welcomed and kind of even thought was sexy, I believe.
Yeah, she found it sexy because he took charge. He gave her some new ideas that maybe she wasn't thinking about, and she likes that kind of assertive kind of dude who takes care of the business. In fact, that's what she said.
At times,
At times.
at
At
times.
times,
But who's to know when those times are?
exactly. Next encounter they show us
Hmm.
is she coming through the door and Shaq prepared a little situation. He has body paint that he wants to paint on her design, and she looks like she's along for the adventure. She changes in something and she stands on something, and he's putting body paint on her and in an artistic way, and seems like she's not feeling any pain. She likes what he's doing. Jack had a clear intention to get his hands on this woman and to take her where he wants her to.
But he definitely wanted to put his hands on it.
He goes to the kitchen and he gets some whipped cream just to amp it up a little bit with strawberries. And he spits some whipped cream in her mouth. He puts strawberries in her mouth and he goes in for the kiss. And she doesn't shy away. She kisses him. And they do that a couple of times, and then we see her actually sitting on his lap. Later on, we see them closing the bedroom door. Pivot back to your question on the after party when Keisha asks what's going on at his house, and she and Jasmine were laughing.
Yeah, he was
He was coy. He didn't come outright and say he got the drawers, but he did say that they're getting closer and closer together and having an adventure. And I could understand him trying to cover her,
him
you know,
being
him being really
appropriate
respectful.
with it, appropriate
Right,
with it
exactly.
because he didn't want to come out like he was talking to his boys. He
Right,
wanted to be
exactly.
respectful of the fact that he was talking about a woman who happens to be his wife.
Right.
So yeah.
And he got to check himself as it relates to Kristen because she's skittish. And she may be fine with one thing and next day she switch it up on you. So you gotta, like you go into a high-end store, you gotta make your hands visible at all times. I mean, trauma is a beast. So I got that. She got over a hump, and the momentum of just jumping over those walls or removing those blocks will get her closer and closer to him. Yeah, Shaq took the lead. He took down some of those walls, some blocks rather, and that's the kind of man she's looking for, a take charge kind of dude. And hopefully he's not gonna get any mixed signals going forward.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Because I think that them being able to bond and connect and consummate their marriage should be a really good indicator where what's possible, for them as a couple, in the way of being able to bond in all healthy aspects of a marriage.
And not only is that, but clearly when she sort of blocks him, that triggers him of his childhood and being abandoned and being rejected. So she has to be very careful what she's doing
And not
as it
use it.
relates to him
And
and not use it
right,
for
and
her benefit while she's hurting him in another way.
get a point across, or to in effect just weaponize it
Right.
to cause pain in response to some perceived pain that she's experiencing.
Because that abandonment and rejection stuff is big for him. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. We appreciate you as always. Repeat, Dr. Pepper, the right feelings with the wrong man.
Yeah, that's not what you want. You want the right feelings with the right man.